All those in favor, roll call vote.
Mark Bowden, aye.
John Ketchum, aye.
Kathy Green, aye.
Dave Dixon, aye.
Mary Maslowski, aye.
Emily Brady, aye.
Okay, we're back into regular session. So, welcome guests. Any comment from the public? Hearing none, moving on. Approval of the minutes, CPC regular meetings, September 11th, 2025. Is there a motion?
We didn't have a meeting in September. Right? Did we have a meeting last month?
We did not have a meeting
Right.
last, what's,
Minutes couldn't be from September, they have to be from August, right? Wait,
so that's a glitch.
No.
That's a
Wait
hiccup.
a second.
I thought
You would still do,
April. Wait a
wait a
minute.
second.
you would still do
didn't have a
minutes if you
meeting
didn't
last
have a quorum.
agenda,
You
and there
should
are
do
minutes
something.
here,
I
so
don't know, guys.
I read the minutes.
Yeah, but
You're
we
right.
didn't have a meeting in September, right? Didn't we cancel the meeting in September?
We did.
Okay, so we didn't have a meeting in September, so these are the August,
September 11th, 2025.
we didn't have it though.
We canceled the meeting.
Oh, my God.
Where
You didn't have a
was I?
quorum.
Well,
You never,
these are the August, aren't these August?
I don't know, mine don't say September.
I know, but as I recall, we did not have a meeting in September.
So is this August week? I apologize.
All right, can we leave the month
Or did we
blank?
not? I don't know. Maybe I don't remember.
I don't either. I know we canceled.
Did we?
I don't know.
Did we
Okay,
have
let's
one?
move on
Yeah.
before, and we'll bring this back,
I don't remember.
this particular issue. Okay, new business. Possible discussion, 11 submitted funding applications for 25-20, the current year, 25-26. Do we want to start in this?
In terms of what?
Just a general discussion on each one of the articles?
not particularly.
Mary?
Mary.
Sorry. I just,
I mean, we could do a breakdown by area. I think Jan already did that, right, Jan?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
said something.
The numbers you have, that you got,
Right.
What sheet is that on? I don't remember. But,
submitted applications.
okay.
I know where it is on my home screen.
Can I see that, please?
Yeah, but you have to give it back because I got dates.
Got it.
Harwich CPC 2025-26.
All right, so-
Applications.
What was that email date? Come on, John, help me out here.
Okay, just a moment.
What's your question, Kathy?
I just wanted to find that list, that's all.
in the breakdown.
Hold on.
All right, while you're looking, shall we start discussing it?
Hold
Oh, I got it. It was
on.
October 2nd.
All right, so,
Forward
get an October
Conservation
7th.
Trust.
So we have one in open space,
Second, I have
we have
October
one in
1st.
historic, we have 5 in community housing,
and
and
4 in
4
rec.
in undesignated recreation.
Hmm.
Um,
So we just completed, we just worked on the confidential, OS1.
Correct.
So HB1, West Harwich Baptist Church. Any comments, thoughts?
That, just a comment that they are scheduled to come before Historic at our next meeting on the 12th for consideration and support.
So it would be good to have them come after that meeting, correct?
And we could.
I haven't talked to them yet.
I can't imagine that it wouldn't receive the support of the Historic Commission, but yeah, they're scheduled for our November agenda.
And what date is that? November?
Hopefully it's November 12th.
Go ahead, Kathy.
I guess the first question is did everybody have a chance to look at the applications?
I haven't looked at the application,
Okay.
all I have in front
No,
of me.
no, okay,
But I do have a comment on the,
I'm just asking, you know.
Comment?
Briefly, but not, I
And I'm the same with
briefly, like,
Emily,
I
like-
haven't gone deep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I looked at them and got a sense of what was there, but not more than that.
I'm in the possession of 7 letters from 7 taxpayers, and when this comes to the floor, I'll read those letters publicly. So,
Which, this particular project?
this particular project. So, anything else from anybody? We're all set there.
Oh, sorry, not gonna say anything about this one right now. Okay, go on.
I'd rather wait till they make their presentations unless you have,
The only comment I have is that, from what, and I only know what I read in the paper now, that CPC is the only funding source for this project.
that maybe.
For the phase 1 or 2, whatever it is that he's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I don't want to get
Okay.
without the presentation in front of us, then you can put those questions directly to the source.
That's fair, that's very fair.
Go ahead.
Well, what do you want us to comment on tonight?
Just anything that you have that you want to interject into it, other than part of the decision-making process. So, I mean, the Housing Trust, the Affordable Trust is an issue right now, not having the information in the paper form as required by everybody else. So I'll reach out to the acting chair tomorrow.
Well, it's,
And I don't want to penalize them for what they've done because of the situation they're working within. So, does anybody have a comment on that?
What do you mean? What, I didn't, should I write this down?
No. No. What I'm saying is,
Deal about it.
we've made certain concessions for others in the past.
you have.
Yes, that's part of the ability of being the chair.
That's
So-
right.
Does anybody have an issue with that?
Well, it's not
Do not.
certain
John.
others, it's them. We made concessions repeatedly for them. And I sort of thought, since we had perhaps a different cast of characters, maybe it would be different, but this is coming up
They
again.
have no chair. They have an acting chair.
We managed to do a submission.
There,
I don't know, never mind.
That's
Larry is no longer.
a
on.
bullet point where they just grab a piece of paper, go back a couple of years or go back to last year and fill out the application, change the numbers. So,
It doesn't speak much to the application.
well, I'm not saying,
Don't know.
that's a
I saw Brent
hypothetical.
last night, and I would have asked him.
I just, what's your suggestion?
Well, this is new information for me. I don't have a particular suggestion. I'm just saying that part of my consideration will be the fact that this is far from the first time we've had to swallow hard and just make a decision one way or the other.
Understood. Anybody else? Emily?
Just so I'm clear, they didn't submit their paper, the paper component. And have they been asked for that?
It's on the
It's on the
application.
So it's on the
But
application.
did we follow up? Because I understand.
I
They have
would have
different-
asked.
I'm not asking you, but
Yeah,
like,
no,
they
I would have
they
asked last
different personnel. Have we just asked for it? And have we asked for it?
We have not asked for it.
Okay.
The chair will request it tomorrow. Mary?
My only comment is they're finally gaining momentum, and we're finally seeing progress, and now they've had changes in people and people that were working well together and were making progress. So I know I'm always the one that says I'd like to give them some slack. I would like to give them some slack temporarily to see if they can get their person appointed and start back with the momentum that they were just starting. You know, I think they're started to make progress, and Lord knows we need to make progress, so. It's my 2 cents worth, that nobody is surprised by.
No, I think the call should be made, but, and maybe it's going to sound in their defense because I wear the housing hat, but having the chair shot out of the saddle and someone had to take over, right in the midst of negotiating their primary contract, big contract with Penrose, there's a lot of moving parts there. I could see very easily, geez, do I need to make out another piece of paper? Maybe I can wait a while, you know what I mean?
Understood.
You know, so they do have a lot of activity
It
going on.
is out of sight, out of mind, but we are the funding source.
Yeah, well, yeah, oh, yeah, but
Understood. Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
Regarding what?
Give them some more time?
You've already made that decision
yeah,
as the chair. So
Well,
I think the rest of us are.
I'm backing up on that because of what has been said here tonight.
yeah.
Well, so far, you've had two people.
John is absolutely right.
Well, it's precedent, too. I mean, what kind of a precedent are we setting? That, I'm just saying, you know?
I don't disagree with you, but I feel similar to Merritt, like I hate that a paper thing would hold these types of projects back, so really, but it, everybody else has to abide by that list, so it's a hard one, I agree.
How about we slash 150 off the application as a penalty? I'm just kidding. To the public, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
All right,
I will point out the irony that I was the one that was insisting on the paper copies, because I always wanted the paper copies.
I know.
And I'm less concerned about the paper copies because we at least know what the application is.
so what's the
So-
penalty? What is the penalty? Not a cup of coffee in the morning? What's the penalty, folks?
I don't think you determine it, personally, I don't think you determine any of that now.
No,
I think you wait on the merits, and then you can make your decision on the merits, whether you think they should be penalized for not having the paper copies in on time, and do it when we're voting. I mean, that's my
No.
own 2 cents worth, but.
That's a done deal. I'll make the phone call in the morning. Moving on.
So, calendar.
Are we going to discuss any of the other, or?
Well, yeah, we
is that
are.
all
We're
of us?
going there. So that takes care of the Housing Trust, Lower Cape Housing Institute. Any questions anybody has as far as reading the application? Penrose LLC, Penrose LLC, Penrose LLC.
Oh, FYI, going forward, I'm not calling them Penrose projects. I'm going by their second little name they've got there for them. Because Penrose changed, Cape Cod 5, none. And if we think Penrose, we might think that old project. So those three Penroses are
Chatham,
going
Howard,
by-
Chatham, got it.
Well, then I would put Penrose in parentheses after the title.
We can do that, I'm
So-
just saying that on paperwork going forward from this committee, Penrose will, it's on my little cheat sheet, but it's not, it will not be listed as all of those names. It will be Chatham Main Street, Harwich Queen Anne, and what's the other one, sweetie?
Chatham Meeting House.
Chatham, Maine.
Yeah,
Main
Meeting
Street,
House
Meeting
is the
House.
other one.
across
Point of
the-
Just
information.
FYI.
John,
I already put all those things up and put labels on them on the website, and they all, three of those include the name Penrose.
But I think,
That-
I just mean for us,
that's
Okay,
fine.
all right,
That's fine.
that's all, just.
That's fine.
because they may change their name again. The projects, remember how that whole thing?
Yeah, but.
Okay, we're not going to debate the issue.
Yeah.
All right, anything else on Penrose? Okay, under the recreation, irrigation of the fields, that's one, that's the only one. Harwich, the resource and water quality equipment, natural resource shellfish lab, diagnostic assessment of Hinckley's Pond. The only thing I will say is, under recreation, there may be a problem with one or more of the applications qualifying for CPA funding. So just as you're reading through, give it some thought.
There's only one, you mean recreation? There's only,
No, I'm not talking about the recreation department.
you're talking the natural resources.
The others, yes. the
Based
other
on that it maybe falls under maintenance versus other categories? Restoration, rehabilitation,
three. Yeah,
et cetera? I'm just curious.
well, again, read the information.
Mhm.
Look at what your guidelines are. Okay, thank you for,
But yeah, it's a calendar,
I understand.
very important.
I
Can
know.
I make a suggestion
Go
about the
ahead,
calendar?
Kathy.
I mean, I think that, if we can do this in 2 nights. I would suggest 2 nights in November versus, and then we have the December meeting if we need anybody else, but maybe,
Well, there's always follow-up.
I know, but maybe bookending, instead of our meeting on whatever it is.
Well, December 11th is our scheduled meeting, and November 13th is a scheduled meeting,
No.
our CPC scheduled meeting. And I've already had conversations with some of these people who've reached out and said, we cannot come in November, I can only come in December,
Well,
just FYI, so.
well, they kind of have to fit into our
If the
stuff.
people aren't there,
If they want our money.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, I will have a hard time coming in another day in November, just,
You do or you don't.
I won't, I would have difficulty, I could do the week that we have scheduled,
Okay,
the following week, I'm likely not available.
okay.
And then
So
the week after
if
that,
we
I
only
think
had
we
the
go
one
into-
meeting in November and the one meeting in December, it's going to push us right up until, the new year to deliberate, which if that's okay with all you guys, then,
Do we even know when they're looking to certify money and set the tax rate? So, I mean, we typically, years past, we haven't even gotten it, but
It will be
typically
sometime
February.
in the latter part of November,
Okay,
as it's been explained to me.
so they're
And
hoping to
again-
do it earlier.
The situation's fluid.
Yep.
No pun intended.
Yep, no. I mean, that'd be great, if we have numbers that early, that'd be fantastic to get it done. It'd be a first in the years I've been on the board.
John, thoughts?
About schedule?
Yeah,
I would prefer to do it in 2 nights. I don't have it doesn't appear to me at the moment that I have a lot of constraints about days. I think, it sounds like, I would be okay with scheduling 2 meetings in December. I know that sounds kind of horrible, but if we need to. I'm a little uncertain about going through 5 proposals a night over 2 nights, which is, we've already done the open space one, right? We don't need to reschedule that.
No, we
unless-
don't.
So that's 5 a night, which is kind of a lot. But I prefer to stay late myself than schedule an extra day.
I
all
would
right.
have said I could do.
Before we get into any, Art, what I would like to explain to you is, when it comes down to availability, I've banged this drum a long period of time. I don't want to know where the individuals are going, how they're going, why they're going. You're simply not available. We're in a public venue,
sure.
so it just makes things a lot easier for everybody,
Okay,
okay?
I hear you.
So, Mary, you got
So
it.
I was just gonna say, looking at November, Emily and I both have planning board on November 6th with public hearings.
Okay.
I have a meeting on November 4th. It's already scheduled that I have to be at. I would be amenable to doing a Wednesday night if we could get the room on the 5th, but the week of the 20th, I'm not available, and the week of the 27th is Thanksgiving, so.
Conservation is in here on the 5th and the 19th.
Okay.
So
that
you
takes
have
care
a
of it.
conflict then, so, yeah. I could probably do December 4th, if you wanted to do December 4th and December 11th.
Is that a Thursday and a Thursday?
It's a Thursday and a Thursday. I could do the extra week in December. And obviously, I don't know what any, the rest of you have, but
We think if we try to do
2 weeks in a row.
everything, I personally like having them close together. Everything's top of mind.
Yeah.
and
Right.
Discussing it
Thanksgiving, and then after that you get Christmas.
between,
So I booked
I don't
3 days that
disagree.
we can just,
like a month's a
Yeah.
long time.
3 extra.
So you're suggesting,
I like 2 weeks, like 2 back-to-back weeks. My preference is to discuss everything within a condensed period of time, because it just keeps everything together and fresh, and you don't have a whole bunch of time in between, but,
I could do the 4th and the 11th
and,
of December. I don't know if anybody else
and
can.
potentially we'd have the budgetary
Numbers.
component already.
If they're saying the end of November, hopefully.
All right, so,
So you're suggesting that in November, we just have a regular meeting and not have anybody present, and just present back-to-back December 4th and 11th? Is that what I'm hearing? Potentially?
That's available. Am I
hold on. November 20th. Is everybody available for that?
No,
No.
But you might have to go with like one person not being available.
The problem is, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
If someone gets ill, sickness, whatever, we're on a thin margin.
why wouldn't we just shoot for maybe doing 2 on the 13th and then 4 each on the 4th and the 11th of December? 2 in November and do the rest of them 2 nights in December.
Understood.
And there may be trouble scheduling some of these applicants, even though, I get your point, Kathy. I can tell what you're thinking, but it might be easier to schedule them if we have 3 nights available than 2.
Well, I mean, fact of the matter is, can I just say something? Is that, you know, the person who put the application in is usually representative of a group or committee, or at least not just a party of one. So if that particular individual couldn't make it that evening, I'm sure that they could send a representative in order for us to complete our work in a timely fashion by the end of 2025. And the further we get into December, the more difficult it is for everybody, just
Yeah, because we're running up
Yeah.
against,
against travel and
Understood.
stuff.
Yep.
all right. Give me some dates.
John just did, he suggested 2 applications at our November meeting, and 4 applications on December 4th, and 4 applications on December 11th.
Or some reasonable facsimile
Of that,
thereof.
yes. I mean, we know that some of these are not going to take long, like,
All right, November 13th, 2 applications. Where's your cheat sheet? Lowercase Housing Institute will be 1.
Do the
And-
Affordable Housing Trust.
The HC1, HC2. Housing Trust and Lower Cape Institute.
Well, if I can,
What?
let's not declare who's who on the particular night. I have the room booked. It's done. We're going to meet on November 13th and then December 4th and 11th. And we'll accomplish the outstanding applications, if that's okay.
No, you lost me. Sorry.
Jan wants freedom to schedule
Jan
who
wants
who
the-
can fit in.
And I understand that, but there's a reason I'm doing it this way.
Well,
So
okay.
we're going to do the Affordable Trust, and we're going to do the Institute. We're going to do those two.
In December.
December 11th.
Okay.
November,
November.
November
No, they can't.
13th.
November.
November 13th.
November
They're at a
13th.
conference.
I'm sorry,
We're at a
November 13th.
conference. What can I say?
Who's at a conference?
Lower Cape has.
They can send someone.
Okay.
They got a gazillion people.
They can send someone.
Okay.
So that takes care of the 13th. The 4th, Pemrose, all 3 Pemrose, and one other,
Baptist? No, it can't be. Baptist, I can ask, right? Baptist? So Penrose and Baptist, and then the other natural.
no, we're going to do the 3 Pemrose
On the 4th,
on the 4th,
right?
and we're going to do Recreation. December 4th. So that gives us 4, and we have,
The 3 that are under the Natural Resources Director
right,
and the West Harwich Schoolhouse. Historic.
yeah.
Yeah.
That makes
Okay,
sense?
That makes sense.
All right. I'm trying to shuffle in my head.
How long you think they're gonna be?
Well,
So at this point,
So,
in the
do we have
room, everybody can make those 3 nights.
are those nights
At
good
this
for
point.
everybody?
At this point.
At this point.
Mayor?
Yep.
Yep. Hot?
well, Penrose, to me, is just one presentation. Not gonna,
Not really,
It's not.
because the $500,000 for the Queen Anne Road one is totally different from the other ones. The other ones are support asks. This is a different kind of support ask, because the project's already in progress. It's like additional,
okay, okay.
at least that's how I see it. And they're also, one is in Harwich and 2 are in Chatham. I think there's a market difference there. At least that's what I think.
No, understood. Having those put, it's fine. Having, there's going to have to be a discussion each and every one of them anyway.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
So-
you're going to say something about each one, that's sure, but I don't think for length of presentation, it's,
And then we have the West Harwich with them. Agreed upon,
now, West Harwich is when now?
there will be the 18th.
Penrose is the
18th.
4th.
No,
Penrose the
the
fourth?
11th, the
The
11th.
11th.
No, you said,
You said the natural resources
Oh,
and Baptist.
Okay, the 4th then,
You
whatever.
tell me. I can flip whatever you want.
All right,
I'm just
December
trying-
11th, Pemrose, right?
Right, and rec.
And Rec.
Oh, and rec. Okay, the other one's the 4th.
And
And the other 4,
December 4th.
Natural
excuse
Resources.
me, December 11th is the 3 natural resources in the Baptist church.
In the Baptist church, right, right. That works.
Okay, 12/11.
Completely lost. because we
Okay,
just switched dates twice.
Trying to get the dates is like pulling teeth. Okay, we're all set here? Moving on. Review the 25 update status reports that are received. Do you want to go into that? I'm going to postpone that tonight. Trying to give one of the members a break, because more important to me, other than the status reports, are the grant agreements. So let's hammer that for the moment. Let's have a discussion on the grant agreements. Mary, do you want to take the,
So I circulated to you and Kathy some changes. We took the old Habitat, made some suggested changes to it, and then also added some provisions from the Orleans agreement. Tried to clean up some language with respect to the invoicing. One thing that Orleans did have that Kathy located was the invoicing policy, which I think is a great idea, but once the finance department gets their feet under them and, and then they can tell us what they want for those kinds of things. But otherwise, it's not heavy lifted changes, just cleaning up some language and trying to give us some audit rights. So that if we find that, so that we have the right to look and see how people have spent the money, and that if we find that people have spent the money incorrectly, then they have to refund or be responsible to replace those funds. But it's all gonna depend on what whether town council likes it or not. And town council could look at those changes and say, too bad, so
Eat.
sad, eat them, and you're using my document, and we don't have much say in the matter, so.
okay. Kathy?
So I guess the question is, does everybody on the committee want to weigh in on this legal document? Or should we just assume that Mary, with her legalese, has, done right by it? And that we put in the things that we've discussed at this meeting beforehand about some things that we wanted included in the grant agreement, and then pass this document on to Dave to hand to our liaison, who can present it to the Board of Selectmen, who can give it to legal counsel.
Did you had a chance to take a look at it?
I did.
Did you think there was anything that I missed?
No, I sent you a note and said
Okay.
that it looked fine.
All right. So-
I mean, everybody can look at a copy, but, I didn't print it with all the changes. I mean, and like you
I
said,
could
most of the changes were wording to make some things consistent, and then inserting a couple of things that we wanted to make note of.
So we put in a provision to have a person assigned. Put
Right.
in a provision to have the applicant assign a person to us as well. It set timelines for a project must be commenced within, and it was in our agreement as well, which
Right.
I thought was a little odd, that a project has to commence within.
A month, 30 days of,
No, I think it was a year, it was 12 months.
that's what we have now.
That's what's in there now, is that it has to commence within 12 months of the fiscal year following the annual town meeting that we voted at. And then I changed the provision that it had to be completed within 2 years of the commencement date. So that would give them the 3 years from the 3 fiscal years to do the work. So you have a meeting, say you have a meeting, annual meeting, May 2026, and we vote it. July 1st is when the funds would technically become available to them. They have to commence work within 12 months of that date, which would be 2027, and then they would have until 2029 to
What if
finish.
they commenced, like, right away, but they only have 2 years to finish the project.
Well, the commencement date is defined by the year, by 12 months following the, I did it that way because of the way the definition was set up in both of the agreements. The
Okay,
definition of a commencement date is defined as 12 months from the July 1st following the annual meeting where it was voted, so that's how they started. They give a commencement date as like, it's almost like it must be, you must start on or before this date.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's why I drafted it that way,
okay.
just the way that definition was written.
On or before.
It defines a commencement date, so, I mean, it's not limiting them to start
Right.
in 2027. It's
Okay.
saying that they have to commence by that commencement date, and then you would effectively give them 2 years after that commencement date, which would give them 3 years' worth of work to get the project done. And that they have to come back to us in order to get an extension,
For a waiver.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, before you,
Yep.
Emily, questions?
I trust Mary's legal opinion on
I'm
it.
happy to circulate it to
Yeah,
everybody
I
if
mean,
you
I'm
want to just
happy
take a
to
look
take
at
a
it.
look, but
It's a little messy with the changes, so I'll
Okay.
send you clean versions, and you can read through them and see.
All set?
all set.
Art?
I have heard Mary's opinion. The only thing I'd like to have is a final draft copy before we vote on it, that's all.
Reasonable. John?
I agree with Art.
Kathy?
Yeah, I just wanted to remind people, that this particular grant agreement is the grant agreement that's used with outside entities. So we're talking, 2, 3, 4 applications at the most typically. This does not cover town entities. Okay,
It's the
so-
Penroses in the.
Right. So when we say, we like the idea of like having a liaison from the committee who's, to be in touch with, these applicants, we're not talking a lot, we're talking
No.
2, 3, 4 at the most, so just a reminder of that.
Okay, is there I agree about the draft,
That's fine.
but I don't want to hammer this too much. I want a tentative date
Right.
that I can bring this to the liaison. So, go ahead.
Well, why doesn't Mary send the copy to the
Well,
committee?
She's doing the work.
And then, if anybody has any questions or thoughts, they can address that to Mary, if she can either answer them, and if there's nobody that has any real problems with them, then you can
I
hand it
don't
off
want
to
it to be
Dave.
considered deliberation, so I'd rather just send the, I would rather just send the agreement off, and we can, I'd rather not discuss it by email.
Mhm.
So,
Understood, yeah.
so I can send it off and people can read it. And
And,
if we have to, we can put it on
An agenda
an
item.
agenda item
Got it.
okay,
the next time and go forward.
right. I mean, I think,
Unless you don't want, I mean, you could do it now if you wanted to, but, I mean, I fully understand that people should have an opportunity to read it.
Yeah, that's more than reasonable, so. Are we all set with this? All righty. We'll do that. If you have, when you receive it, go through the information, any questions or anything you have, let me know. I'll make it an agenda item, and we'll discuss it.
And just remember, silence means consent.
That's true. Okay, signs. Next, CPC recognition of sign options.
okay, you charged me with getting some more information. So, I dug a little bit more. Okay, Chatham Sign Shop, which everybody was like all, popped up about, because we all know what the Chatham signs look like. We know that they're wood, so they don't last forever. There is a degree of maintenance involved with them. You can get custom. Custom is about $150 to $165 per square foot. So an example of a 2x3 sign, which I know is large, could be about $900. So I think that's a lot of money, but just so you know, for information. The number signs that they have, just the simple number signs from Chatham Sign Shop. This one is a 6.5 by 10-inch sign. This costs $430, okay, just as a frame of reference. Okay. John mentioned that he had, the Harwich Ponds Coalition had done a sign up, so I took a picture of it. It's nicer than this, but this is a little blue, but it's a small sign, metal. It's engineered reflective aluminum. It's about 18 by 18, this one was a little smaller, is about $50 plus. Okay, then you also mentioned the Harwich Conservation Trust signage, so I went and took a look at those. For example, the no bicycle sign, just as a frame of reference in terms of the solidity of sort of the sign, and you could get what you want on it. Again, an 18 by 18 reflective aluminum is about $50 plus, and we could probably get our statement put on these. And then I looked into the bronze plaques, okay, which you can get on Etsy for all kinds of sizes and shapes and stuff like that. A 16 by 16 could be about $975, maybe a little bit cheaper depending upon what you do. But again, of course, these have much more longevity. So in looking at all these things, and then in addition, I had showed you the original aluminum sign, which again was like $50. This one here, sort of pretty basic, okay? But I did go over the sign guidelines in the town. I haven't gone over the historic ones yet, but, they're sort of the sign ones with some more stuff on them, with more restrictions. I am thinking that we should start small. We should maybe pick one of our categories, whether it be historic or recreation or housing or what's our other one? Open space. And pick one of them, and maybe the signage is going to be different for each of those groups. So for example, I'm thinking that in order to get approval from historic, it's going to have to be something that's classier and is going to blend in, et cetera. So, we may want to do a bronze plaque sort of thing on any of the historic entities that we have had, some funding for. They'd be consistent. They would probably get approval from historic if they are, fit the same category as like the historic preservation plaques and stuff like that. And, spring for the money for them, because we know they're going to last forever, okay? And if the wording is such that it's sort of broad, then I don't think we would be offending anybody. And then I think for something like open space acquisitions, most likely we're talking about adhering something to a kiosk that's at the trail entrance to a particular piece of property that we helped, fund or get a conservation restriction on. And that doesn't really lend itself to a bronze kind of thing. That kind of more lends itself to like this green one that I showed you, which kind of blends in with their stuff. They have other signs that are sort of similar sometimes in shape and form, and it could just be our information, but a shape that they know and love, and blends in with their stuff. And then, we could move on to something else. So perhaps that might be a way that we want to go. And then the last thing I want to say is the conversation about the what is it? The
QR code.
Yeah, QR code. Mary, maybe you'd like to address the QR code.
I don't know that the QR code is gonna give us enough bang for our buck. I get that it will give people an opportunity to look things up, but I think they could get there by just checking out the CPC page, and I'm more afraid that the QR code is gonna be on a sign and it's going to expire, or there's gonna be a problem with it, and then it's not gonna work, and then you're stuck with a QR code on a sign that's not working. Being somebody that did a QR code a couple of weeks ago to put them on business cards, and it expired because it wasn't a free one, and had to throw out a bunch of business cards, so, you know, we'll just say that was not my smartest endeavor, so. I don't know that I think we can get the same thing by just having the information on our webpage already. Just my food for thought. I do like the idea of perhaps starting with the open space. I think would be a good place to start, because I like that green sign. And I think if we put a town seal on it or put a symbol on it, and started there, I think you're gonna get a lot of visibility with those. I think there are also a lot of places where you could put them. So I think that might be a great place to start. And it would give us time to buy us a little time before we have to deal with historic. Because I would be remiss, I promised I would say it at this meeting tonight. There is some concern with historic that the CPC signs went up through the historic district, and nobody asked for permission, so, and I never gave it a thought either, but signage in the historic district is supposed to come to historic on an application for a certificate of appropriateness, and our Youth and Family Services director for the town was smart enough to come in and ask us permission for a sign next door in front of the Albro House, and we acknowledge that she got beaten up a little bit because nobody else in the district has complied with it, including CPC, which I did acknowledge last night, but,
Sure.
you know, I think it'll give us a little time to decide how much we think we could spend on a sign, and maybe delve into some of those a little bit more. But I do think rec and open space might be a great place to start with those, a sign like you showed us, like that green one, that's big enough that we can put enough information on it, and there are so many places that we could hit a lot of them for not too much money.
Right.
All right, I'm going to go around the room. Emily?
I tend to agree. I really like the idea of kind of, you know, different signs for different, the more appropriate sign for a more appropriate place. And I like the idea of piloting it with a particular segment and seeing how it goes and going from there. And I'll concede, I hear you on I like QR code, I like having a call to action and driving to more information, but I understand, and, you know, if something changes, you know, you can't, I don't know. It's cleaner, crisper, and
I
people
get
can
it.
just Google, so I get it.
All set, Emma?
All set.
All right,
I was being so smart, no.
But signs are a heavy subject. Because they can go on forever and ever, you never get to the end. But anyways, on conservation, they already have their own signs. They put up as far as I know, every piece of conservation land that we have here in Harwich has a sign. And as a second thought, I think their signs are very attractive. In fact, I think for signs go, if you drive around Cape Cod and look at other conservation, Harwich has one of the best looking signs. That said, so conservation is pretty well taken care of, I would think. So,
But not the recognition that the funding came from CPA funds. That's our point.
yeah, so the problem we're gonna have here,
have to redo the signs.
No.
so now you're gonna have a sign defining, you know, it's gonna get redundant, I think. I know we should have that, and I believe in the signs, everything. But conservation already has a sign there, and are we gonna put our sign next to theirs, or how is that gonna go?
Can I just?
Hold on, let him finish his
Yeah.
thoughts.
Okay, so that said, yeah, I think there'd be different types of signs for different locations. And I see a sign, I'm assuming it just went up over at the museum.
What museum?
The Brooks Museum.
Schoolhouse?
No, not,
No, at the Brooks Academy Museum.
Brooks Academy.
This is
Academy,
CPC
that's what I want to
sign.
say. Right on the lawn, just.
Yeah, that's just a temporary
The banner?
CPC sign.
The banner you're talking about?
No, regular sign, 2 posts and a
Yeah,
sign.
that's
Yeah,
been up
that's-
for months.
That's
Yeah,
CPC.
it's been up there for a little bit, but
That's
it's,
just
it's
temporary.
fairly recent.
Yeah, it's temporary and it's illegal,
So
according to historic.
there's a sign, but now when the renovation is completed, I don't think you're going to leave that sign up there, are you?
No, we
No,
talked about
that
it being
sign-
temporary.
Temporary
Right.
sign. Okay, and then you're going to have a plaque that goes inside or something like that, I would think. Or, you know,
All set?
yeah, so that's where the sticking point comes in, you know, how you keep it going.
John,
Okay.
take a
Two
deep
things.
breath.
One is, in reviewing minutes from the alleged September meeting.
Maybe we meant
Was it
something, I
August?
can't remember.
It must have been August that we didn't
Whatever.
need that.
No, no, it's okay.
There was mention of a decision that a sign for the library wasn't a great idea because
They thought,
you couldn't attribute the funding to exactly what was done. However, my immediate thought when I was reminded of that conversation was, so what? And specifically, what came in my head was, I used to be a very regular NPR listener. I'm not so much anymore because I just can't deal. But
You're not alone.
But they would always say something about things that were funded and by whom, and they would say funded in part by, whatever
Right.
foundation. And
Might be a
why
great
wouldn't-
language.
Why wouldn't we just do that? We don't have to worry about,
Right,
which shingle.
Excellent point, John.
right. No, and we
No,
talked about
excellent
that. We
point.
will
We
do
did, I
that.
missed that part, I must have.
Right.
That's a good
We
point.
will do that.
Funding in part provided by the
Right.
taxpayers of Harwich through the CPA funds.
So we already had that conversation. Well, I'm glad I brought it back up then.
You're smart enough to remember it, unlike the rest of us that didn't remember being here.
And the other thing is, I don't agree with Mary, and I don't agree with Emily. I think we need to point people to the webpage. And I would ask you, have you done a Google search for funding for Harwich CPC projects and found that it takes you directly to the CPC webpage on the Town of Harwich website?
So when I do,
Tried that experiment.
Google, if I do CPC Harwich, it does direct me right to the CPC
Okay,
page.
all right. Well, that's good.
Which is probably the only reason why I would say that, because I have.
But
That's how I find our
guess my
page.
next question would be, if the random person who is
Right.
not connected, who Google doesn't
Right.
have their browsing habits in mind, would the same thing happen? I still think it would be a good idea to have either the URL or, or the QR code, and you wouldn't go to a third-party vendor and pay them to make a QR code for you, which they would embed other scurrilous things into to try to send you somewhere. It's very easy to make a QR code that all it stands for is the URL you want to go for. And I'm not ready to just say, no, we shouldn't be pointing people.
I'll trust you people that understand that more than I do, clearly. I'm starting to feel like Kathy. Sorry.
That's all I have to say.
okay, thank you. I'd like to have a starting point, actually. And it's funny about the QR codes, because my last travels and my battlefield tours was to Fort Sumter. And you go there, and there's, either on the inside or the outside, there's a plaque with I think that's a QR code. I didn't take the time to photograph it and read it, because I was chasing, never mind. But anyway, yeah, I think it's a good idea. I mean, we're headed in any direction with AI, so you might as well, information is information is information. The more you have, the better off you are. as far as these plaques, the simplest form of plaque that Kathy initially put out, I think that is classy and would look good in bronze, both on the library and Brooks Park and South Harwich Meeting House. I don't know where else that we've done large.
I just wouldn't recommend starting with historic, because you're gonna have to do an application. It's gonna have to go before them, and we're gonna have to debate it and decide whether it's appropriate or not.
That's why I asked for bronze to start with.
No, I get that.
How could historic argue against a bronze plaque on a historic building?
Depends.
Ooh,
I wouldn't comment on something that would come before us,
Okay,
that's right.
all right, got it,
so.
got it. I don't walk in these realms, so
No, and I'm
I'm
just saying,
subject to error.
there are 4 other members that are much more knowledgeable than I am when it comes to design aesthetics and periods, so.
Did you take my,
I took it back, sorry. This is aluminum.
that's what I'm saying. It's a classy look
Yeah,
for historic purposes.
but it's aluminum. They
They
probably,
can do it in bronze, too.
yeah, I mean, simple.
Question.
John?
When you're talking about a bronze plaque, what about it is bronze? It's not solid bronze, right? You're
No,
talking about
it's
plate
a,
or something?
yeah,
It's
it's,
yeah. But they're beefier, they're
Hmm.
heavier, you know.
So would it be aluminum with bronze plate or something on it? Or
I
is it-
can't answer that question.
I don't know.
I don't know the answer to that question. Go ahead, Kathy.
All right, so, okay. One,
I really like the looks of that,
yeah,
especially in a historic building.
one could assume, okay, I'm talking to Mary's point first, is that
Okay, all right, I'll get out of the way.
bronze, a simple bronze square or rectangle of moderate size is probably going to be acceptable by the Historic Commission, would just whatever. But to Mary's point, we need some time, we'll have to come up with like a schematic and some details, and then we'll go through the process.
And they're town buildings, and we're gonna need to get approval from the
Building,
town to put something on the building, and
right.
from historic to approve the
So,
design.
so we need to plot out like a sort of a timeline of how we go about that. So, to start the process, maybe we want to pick something like open space, which doesn't have anything to do with the town necessarily, okay? Except for conservation restrictions, so I don't think that we have to follow the guidelines for that.
Why are
Now-
you taking my joy away?
Okay, but to Art's point, Art, when you were referring to the Harwich Conservation Trust signs,
Right.
are you referring to the oval signs that hang from something
Yeah.
that you see in the street? We're not talking about that. We're talking about putting signage on most of the parcels that we have supported are trails, okay, that generally have like a kiosk at the
Yeah,
beginning of
okay,
them,
yeah,
okay?
yeah.
And so it's not like right on the street, it's usually in a bit. There's usually plenty of room for some kind of signage. Usually, Harwich Conservation Trust is really good about including, they have a big thank you usually, okay? If it's a major project like the Colebrook project off of Bank Street. But the acknowledgement of the CPA funding is like about this big. And so I think that we could use a little bit more, emphasis on the fact that it's funded. So if we had something that blended in with their other stuff, I mean, and of course, this is something that we'd talk to Mike about and figure out if there is something that we can work out.
He'd be the first person I'd start with.
Well, of course.
No, and
Okay.
maybe he's already got
So
it
we're
designed.
not
I don't know.
talking about doing something that's gonna conflict with their current signage. So,
Okay.
What's the pleasure of the board?
I would recommend that we look at a design for conservation
Right.
and open space parcels, and Start there.
Okay. So I'll have a conversation with Mike, if that's all right with everybody. We can start there. The other thing is that a lot of community housing projects typically do have signage on the outside of them that does have some kind of information. Like if you go up to Penrose in Orleans right now, right in the center of their main courtyard is a sign that says, "Thank you, CPA funding from the various communities," and it lists every single town that, contributed. And it's right there. So it's not necessary to repeat something like that. So that's certainly something that community housing might not be conducive for additional signage.
Do you think that sign is a temporary sign during the construction phase?
No, they're
or-
done.
They're done.
The people are living there now.
So it's a permanent,
Yes.
permanent signage?
Yes, yes. It's right when you walk in the main
Yeah.
entrance there, so
Yeah.
it's nice enough. But there's an acknowledgement anyway, so. All right, so I'll be happy to talk to Mike and come back with some more information, and I can talk to Mike about a QR code too, or whatever it is. What is it again?
Well,
I have a real problem with these things.
I'm not sure
Is there an acronym for QR code?
Yeah, right.
QC.
Yeah.
QC? No. Oh, God.
Well, you know what a TLA is. It's a three-letter acronym.
What does that mean?
It's just a joke about acronyms. A TLA.
All right, you're confusing me, so,
Okay, moving on, sir.
yeah.
So what's the point in talking to Mike?
Because if
Yeah,
I
but this-
mean,
you
about
feel,
a QR code, I mean.
Yes.
Right.
Because if we're putting up signs, we would be putting a QR code to point to information from CPC, not to like the Conservation Trust
Right.
website, right?
but I would want to make sure that, like, that they would want something like a QR code on, like,
For an
their
object
their
like a
signage.
QR.
Yeah, if it's going to be attached to a kiosk or something, that's all I'm
Sure,
just saying.
talk to Mike about it.
I don't know. I don't know enough about those things. Maybe I'm the wrong person to be looking into this
No, I
stuff.
think you should.
So I would assume we're talking about a QR code that would be a common QR code that's just pointing back to our
That's gonna let-
website, as
right.
opposed to each individual
Right,
project, right? I mean,
right.
is that,
Yeah, and I don't think you can put a QR code on a bronze plaque.
they would have difficulty, I think, doing the
So-
relief.
We'd have to forego that.
It can be done for the right amount of money.
Oh, God, anything can, all right. But,
Okay, do you want some help with this?
well, I'm just gonna talk to Mike right now and find out, like, what his thoughts are about what we've discussed tonight.
And then we'll just follow up at the next meeting.
Yeah.
Yes. It's an agenda item.
Emily, are you available at all?
To do what?
And the reason I'm asking you this is, in case Kathy gets hung up, she could reach out to you and,
On the QR.
QR code,
I can
yes.
help do, I can help do it. I mean, John probably
I
can't.
I'm being very
if that's what we
delicate
need,
with this
that's like-
request.
Let me. I mean, there's different ways you can generate, like, there's different places, like, you can do custom ones with, like, I think we want the simplest kind of format possible.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's a command on my computer and I can get a QR code. It's like.
Really?
I do mine like in Canva, I can do them in Canva, but there's also ones that you can do them, you can make custom ones, like you could have it look like something in particular, but,
Oh,
yeah.
Well, look at the Harwich Ponds Coalition. We have a QR code somewhere, and that has the logo embedded in the middle of
Yes,
it.
that's what I mean.
I didn't make the logo, but I made that object.
but John, to your point about like the Ponds Coalition, okay, so this thing is mounted next to the ground. So I would have to go down to the ground to take a picture of that. I'm not gonna do that. Just saying.
Well, you
But others
probably have a
will.
point there, but where that is,
Yeah.
people are walking by all the time, going to the beach. All the time, there's people, and, but it wasn't designed for my house.
No, I know,
I-
but most of them are designed to be on a post, these in particular, right?
Yeah, and that could be on a more stout and longer wooden post. I agree, but that's not, that was done on a budget, so we got a little
Well, we're on
short.
a budget too, so.
But that's sort of, that's a
No, I'm
different
just kidding you,
conversation.
Sean, just kidding
You're
you.
getting a headache.
But
You could do it.
that one
QR
doesn't
code that
have the
looks like
logo,
a-
but I have
Yeah.
made one. In
Okay.
fact, I can show you.
You realize?
Okay.
Okay, so essentially, if you,
I'm gonna talk
I
to
did a
Mike,
free one
Okay.
that turned into
come up with some
$12 a month.
thoughts.
I was like,
If I need some help,
Emily's of it,
right,
Yeah.
or
she'll make
John.
herself
Or John,
available.
Yeah.
Okay, got it,
All right.
got it.
Okay, social media, Facebook.
Just update, I had done some posts in September and sent them to Cindy. I have to follow up with her, but I have a couple more that I can do based on some of the, project updates and send those along. So no huge update, but working through that.
Nice.
Okay, any questions? Hearing none, moving on. I'm not going back to that. Next meeting, agenda points. Go ahead.
So if we're not gonna discuss the project updates, the only thing about the project, the reason we have people submit the forms and not come before us is so that we can just read them, and if we have questions, we can deal with it after. But there were a couple that the projects were completed, and there were funds that needed to be rescinded, so we need to put that on an agenda so that we can vote on it,
That'll be on the next agenda.
okay?
Anything else? From any of the board members? Okay. Get that for the agenda.
Well, I
So-
think you want the signs on here. and I think
Oh, that's
that you
cute.
also want
We don't really have a logo on there,
the
Right,
grant agreement.
that's cute.
You have
It's
two
the
other
signs,
things
it's
that
the
you
grant
wanna come
agreements.
back. Do you want them
Yeah,
on
it's
this
gonna
meeting?
be,
It's the two applications,
right,
and it's the contract.
okay, that's just about,
I didn't understand. Do you want those on there or
Yes.
don't you? So
Yes.
grant agreements will come back and the signs will come back.
right.
And the updates for rescission, projects for rescission.
Do you have those items?
Yeah, we have all the project reports and who's
Okay.
completed
No,
and,
we don't have all the project.
well, the ones that we have
Yeah.
is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
And so, will that kind of,
Yeah.
can I just add
yeah,
something?
yeah,
Okay, we have, again, guidelines and we have deadlines. And again, a couple of the deadlines were ignored by some of the applicants with outstanding projects. So, again, we've had this discussion before, what's our next step? I mean, we have three, projects that didn't, or at least three, I think Jan said, that we didn't get anything. We didn't get an update.
Who were they? I'm just
Was
curious.
there-
I didn't pay any attention.
Was there communication on,
In the
any
email
communication on
today,
why?
I gave you the names of the three.
Yeah,
Right.
but did they say, was there any communication that said,
Nothing.
sorry?
Very
we're getting-"
unusual from one, because he's, do you want me to say the three?
go.
Harwich Fire Association, and HDHC, and Press Box at Mount Moy High School. Those are the three.
So, yeah, we're perpetually.
I tracked down, there were more, and I tracked them, chased after, and I got some more. That's what you got in today's emails. But we still have three that are outstanding, and I didn't track down HDHC.
So in the morning, send me phone numbers, contact name and phone number.
You can consider HDHC notified. I'll reach out to Bob.
Okay, all right.
And
So just give me the other two then.
Harry, to your point that HDHC is like sort of not, like off schedule, so to speak.
Yeah,
We're trying to get everybody on the
On the
same
same
set
Yeah.
schedule.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
What would you consider the appropriate action if there's no response? Something to consider. Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good night, folks.